Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another StoryTime Spotlight. We have none other than Fremont giving us an exclusive interview after his release with us. So first things first, before we dive into you, I want to know, who is Fremont? Where did Fremont get his name from?
So Fremont is actually my middle name, and it came from, I believe, my mom's grandpa. So my great grandpa, and she originally wanted to name me Fremont because she wanted to call me Free, but I don't know, it ended up being my middle name, and now I just made it my artist name, and everybody calls me Fremont anyways. So
Okay. Okay, not too bad. So what or who got you into EDM?
So I remember it was mostly my dad because he's always had an open ear for music and listened to music. Like I was always listening to him, listen to music in the car and whatever. And I remember I was 14 and I was really into golf at the time. And my dad, I liked country music as well. And my dad was listening to music in his office. And I remember it was like, I think it was Avicii, The Nights was playing or something was the first song. And I walked in, I'm like,
Okay.
what the heck is this? Like it had the guitar, kind of like country, whatever. I'm like, what
Right.
is this? So then when I'd go to the golf course, I always had earbuds in and I would listen to music. So I started listening to more like dance music stuff. And I heard, I think it was Roses by the Chainsmokers and then Until You Were Gone by the Chainsmokers. And I was like, wait, this is super cool. Like, who are these guys? And at the time, I felt like everyone at that age, all my friends had like favorite bands or artists. And I never really had that. And I was like, well, these guys are cool. Like, I'll listen to them. And then I think like 2, 3 years later, I went with my dad to a Chainsmokers concert at this festival called Summerfest in Wisconsin. And it was kind of my first like concert ever. Like the only one I'd ever been to was like Katy Perry when I was 10, or like local people. So I
Right.
never really been to like an EDM concert and it just blew me away. And I was like, I've never heard like dubstep before, like bass music or just
Yeah.
any type of, just EDM music and with the lasers and fire and shit. So that just blew me away. And I was like, this stuff's cool. Like, I like this. And I started discovering more, EDM artists like Cruella and, David Guetta, of course, and all those other artists. So originally my dad, but yeah, a little bit of a
Yeah,
long.
that kind of goes into the next question I wanted to ask you. So, like, I know that you mentioned, David Guetta, you mentioned Cruella, you got Chainsmokers, Avicii. What are some other artists, though, that got you into this scene in general? I know that you've mentioned four powerhouse artists, brands in general, but, what are, when you, in the early days of you listening to this, like, who are some other artists that you were listening to?
Early days, though, that was up there. I think early like Skrillex for sure
For
was,
sure.
of course, have to. I was pretty mainstream for the longest time, but
Yeah.
getting deeper into the, I'm a little more in the house scene now a little bit with
Let's
what I'm
go.
doing. And I think one of my, kind of inspirations and people that, get me deeper into it is my best friend Rebecca, who goes by Bexy, who also produced, and she's an incredible producer. She
Mm.
crushes it, and it's been cool seeing like her journey. And she has been, great enough to bring me to some of the festivals and the gigs and shows that she plays, and I get to see like her do
Yeah,
her thing, and watching her
absolutely.
grow and do amazing things is just really inspiring to me as well. So
Yeah. No, and it's good though because you get to like see firsthand success.
yeah,
Having someone that you're surrounded by, you get to see that firsthand success, and people who will get these major records are like, it is possible. You don't need to be this mega superstar to create a hit and the scene that we're in currently. Which rolls me into that next question. What DAW are you producing on?
I'm in Ableton.
And Ableton. There we go. We're at another tally to the Ableton squad on that one. I love Ableton. It's super user friendly. I can't knock FL and Logic. I love those. Those ones are up there as well. Now, where do you find the inspiration for the music that you make inside of Ableton? Like, where do you draw that from?
So I think a lot of it comes from just having an open ear and listening to music outside of my genre. I used to be very, again, as I kind of said before, in my zone. Like I listen to this type of music or
Yeah.
whatever, but there's so much really cool music out there outside of just even dance music in general, and listening to, you know, current artists and even past artists. You know, I listen to some people like, you know, Postal Service or like 1975 has like
Yeah.
cool stuff. But I also found like some other really cool, you know, more indie artists or just any, you know, artists outside of EDM. Like last year, I discovered this girl Mallrat, who's really cool. Another girl, Rosie Darling's cool. Just like listening to a lot of different genres and different music and being like, well, it'd be cool to like make something like that or draw inspiration from that. So I think
Yeah.
referencing is a huge thing.
Yeah, fusion between the genres, you know, no genres untouched when you have the fusion between the two, you know. It sounds like some of the artists that you listen to are in that indie kind of genre, and you're trying to mix like this indie-ish and like house, bass house sounds together. And honestly, you're doing a solid job by doing it because you have the overall flows and rhythms that these songs kind of have as well. So now that you're producing your music, what would you consider some VSTs or some plugins that producers should check out?
I, I'm such like a plugin nerd where like I could talk about this forever, but I make fun of myself because every time I'm always like, I find like a cool plugin or something, I'm like, oh, this would be sick. Like, but then I remember, I really need like another EQ or compressor because I always end up just
True.
using the stock Ableton stuff. But you know, I look for a lot of plugins that do different things or just things that, you know, certain synths that develop, you know, produce sound. So I love what Arturia does with the Analog Lab stuff, and their soft synth Pigments is really cool as well. I really like what Cable guys are doing with Shaperbox. There's
Yeah.
so many
Oh,
cool like
nice.
special effects and stuff you can do with
Yeah.
Shaperbox. I think another one that's cool is, you know, kind of in the same vein as Shaperbox is Portal's really cool, as well as
Yeah.
Pad Shop. I think that's by Steinberg or something. But I mean, I could go down the list of a bunch of plugins, but I like finding plugins that can almost trick my brain into producing something that, you know, I otherwise couldn't. It adds randomness that,
Right.
you know, is going to, you know, come up with a new result that otherwise I probably couldn't, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Those interest me a ton.
So now we listen to this 8-bar riff. This 8-bar riff becomes something so much more magical. We have a whole song, everything's all done and completed. Now you're ready to play a show. Do you have any pre-show rituals?
I don't know if it's a ritual, but I don't think I've ever played a show where I haven't had a shot of tequila before.
Let's
Or a
go.
tequila. I just need
Let's
one,
go.
but I always feel like I need just a little bit, a little something.
All right. So let's just say you're out, you're shopping for some tequila. What's your brand that you're going for?
So if I money aside, like I would go Clase Azul,
Oh,
but otherwise I do Casamigos as well.
yeah.
But always Reposado. Usually Blanco's a close
Absolutely.
second, but always have to go Reposado.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I can't blame you for that. And I feel like it calms the nerves in general. You know, you're getting ready to perform in front of a crowd. You don't know most of the people that are out there, but you're just going and you want to like release the energy. And sometimes it does help, you know, loosen you up a bit to go ahead and do things like that.
Yeah.
So now let's say we have the song done. We have some shows under our belt. You know, I do see that you work with Cosmic Academy. Who or what is Cosmic Academy?
So Cosmic Academy is maybe the greatest thing for any artist, any music producer that's looking to further their music education and music career. So it's an artist development program and, you know, a music school where we help educate, I guess, you know, artists on how to sign records, build an artist career. And I think the best part of it is you don't just take Cosmic Academy, you join Cosmic Academy. So
Okay.
there's two parts to it where you have a boot camp that's 5 weeks long, and then it's not just, you know, see you later, bye, you know, that was fun. You enter into the, you know, the alumni group, the development community, and it's really about more than just the connections there and, you know, the networking, whatever is all great. It's really about when, you know, you have people around you there to support you because
Yeah.
trying to grow as an artist and do an artist career on your own is very difficult. and varying
Absolutely.
possible. And having
Absolutely.
people there, Justin Cohen, who is the founder of Cosmic Academy, always says this, where, having community is great for when you're going through those hard nights, those long nights when you're, feel like you can't get your mix done. You think your snare sounds like shit. You think your kick
Yeah.
sounds like shit.
We've all been there. We've all
Yeah.
been there.
You have those people around you who can be like, hey, it sounds great. Your mix sounds great. Your snare's great. What are you doing? Right? Like come to feedback with us. We have weekly feedbacks, which are incredible. We have 3 a week. I run one on Wednesdays. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. Can't recommend it enough to any artist who's looking to, further their music education and really take their artist career to the next level.
And where can people find Cosmic Academy at?
So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's at Cosmic Academy. I believe it's Cosmic Academy across the board. YouTube might be the Cosmic Academy, but you could also go to cosmicacademy.com to apply, check out testimonials, and yeah, just you look up Cosmic Academy. You'll find my face on there. You also find, Justin and Zach, who are both incredible as well on there.
So for those who are listening and watching, if you're trying to level up your game, make sure you check out Cosmic Academy. And to get more information, and feel free to speak to Fremont himself. Very knowledgeable guy. So now, to be an artist, you don't only need the music, you don't only need the branding, you also need the content. And I feel like with you and like compared to a lot of other people, you have a lot of content that you make for a release. And on that, I feel like it helps it like get across the algorithm for other people to like see and other people to keep being reminded of the music that's being released. So what are some tips for content that you can give, or what are some algorithm tips that you can give to artists that are just they got something, they're trying to get it out there and get it heard? What is something that these artists should be doing?
Well, and I'll kind of preface this with saying I learned a lot of this through Cosmic Academy that we just talked about.
There you go.
I don't really know pretty much any of this without their help, but I don't know if I have any algorithm tips other than just post, don't overthink it and be sure to, be consistently posting, and not just when you have a release coming, but when you also don't have a release, coming out or any of that, because, you have to keep obviously the engagement up, but I think it's more so just the habit of posting and getting that mind for content.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that helps, where connects a little bit to one of the earlier questions where I was saying inspiration for music, having an open ear, listening to other music. I think also having open eyes for content and seeing what people outside of music are doing in terms of content. One example I'll use is something I used to do is I would post a mac and cheese story every day where I would stir my mac and cheese and I would put a new song over it. And I post that every day. And everyone was like, "You're the mac and cheese guy, mac and cheese, whatever."
Yeah, mac and cheese is back.
To say it wasn't an original idea, but I think, and I can't remember what her name was, but I remember it was a girl who would have a video of a candle every day with a song over it. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, I'll do it here, but that's a non-music example. But you can see how other people, other content creators, and there's so many of them nowadays, are doing things and find ways to apply it to your music and how you do it. I wish I had an example of, one of my videos or what I do that I've been like, oh, I saw someone else do this and I made it a music thing. A lot of that comes from the videos I post on Cosmic Academy, is seeing, other people who are music doing a certain thing and then being like, oh, well, let's make this for music, or,
What I loved with what you did with your recent release on StoryTime Records was you I want to say you had at least 4 videos that you posted up before the release that were all like, the pre-save, hit the pre-save, click the link, all that good stuff. But the one that I loved the most was when you were just taking pictures in random places with your arms out, like, lost, and then here's the release in the middle of your hands, like in all these different places. Like, that's pretty funny, and that draws the attention to the release, like, hey, come check this out, and I feel like that keeps people entertained, and keeps the content flowing.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and it comes down to the not overthinking content, because, and I don't know the exact stat, but it's something about every time someone's on Instagram, they scroll the Eiffel Tower. So most likely people aren't going to remember your post at the end days. So don't overthink it.
Wow.
But I don't know where I got that stat, but I heard it. It could be wrong, could be right. I'm not going to fact check it. But yeah, sometimes you spend, 5 minutes on a post and it does great or it does bad. Sometimes you spend an hour, 2 hours, however long it be, editing a video and it flops. So you never know.
Give and take. Yeah, give and take.
Absolutely.
So I do see that you get a lot of interactions on your post. I do see a lot of artists that have either released with us or people that we are looking forward to with releasing their music on our label in general, that they follow you. And when I see your post, I see that you get the interaction between these artists. So who are some artists that we should watch out for in 2023?
Okay. I knew this one was coming, so I made a list so I don't miss anybody. I'm sure I'm still going to miss people because there's a lot of really great artists and really incredible people doing things in the music industry coming up. But, first off, of course, and I'm not going to make this a long thing, but of course, my best friend, Rebecca Bexey, she's incredible. Have to shout her out. She's basically my big sister at this point. So always have to, shout her out. But Wad Mata, great bass house artist. Yuri, also a great house artist. Maui Sam Burke, both great producers. Rodrigo Cerna is awesome as well. Lola K, then a couple Storytime alums here, A.K. Rennie, Colello, both incredible. And, last but not least, Taylor Torrance. He's my guy. He's also incredible producer. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I missed anybody. There's so many, but just to name a few.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's good because I feel like every year there's people that are considered to be the freshmen in the scene, even though they've been in the scene for a hot minute, kind of just like getting their name. They're in essence the foot in the door. And there are so many artists that just looking at the ammunition they have to release out there of this wonderful music. There's so many people to watch out. So it's always refreshing to hear what other people's takes are too, and especially with someone who is in contact. And when it comes to social media, I always see them comment on your posts and stuff. It's cool to see who your list is. So now I want to try something a little different this time. I want to do a little speed round with you to get to know you just a little bit better. Okay. So what is your go-to studio snack?
The one that smiles back. Goldfish.
The one that smiles back. Okay, let's go. Go-to beverage.
I'll be honest, I love water.
Water. And are we drinking?
If it's a show, it's tequila. But it's always water. It's water.
Let's go. All right. So favorite fast food chain?
I'm not a huge fast food person, but I'm gonna give you like 3 things here. I love Shake Shack.
Okay.
It's always great. I also like Firehouse Subs is great. It's very like niche. Like I can never find it, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So are you a sweet or a salty person?
I'm going to have to go sweet.
Sweet. Okay. And last question, who are some of your favorite sports teams?
In the NBA, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm from Wisconsin. And then you're not gonna like my other answers because it's the New England Patriots,
okay,
Boston Red Sox, and the Boston Bruins.
Hey, not bad. Those aren't bad teams, I'll go with it, Yeah. So now that we've gotten to get to know you more, I do appreciate you sitting down, having a chat with me, to get to know you more on a personal level. Is there anything or anyone that you would like to give a shout out to, or anything that you would like to promote that's coming up in 2023?
You can follow my Instagram, TikTok, Fremont.music. Check out my Spotify, Fremont, and that's pretty much it. I'll have a bunch of releases, a couple of remixes, and a couple shows, and see what happens this year.
There we go. Well, you heard it here first. My name is Matt Campbell, and you are now tuned into another Storytime Spotlight with Fremont. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this interview, and I hope you guys have a great day.